meets investment potential. Home to the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and vast land. It's a hotspot for both travelers and investors seeking lucrative opportunities in a dynamic commercial environment. Puerto Princesa is a prime destination for investors with key sectors including tourism, renewable energy, agriculture, fishery, and information and communications technology.
What I really appreciate is the open ears. That means the government is approachable. I think it's in a both work an open way to work together. Well, we have one opportunity or one purpose to bring more tourists to Palawan and bring more tourists to Sabang and to Puerto Princesa.
We opened a Princesa Garden Island Resort and Spa as a luxury resort and events venue in Puerto Princesa. We take pride in being the recipient of the prestigious ASEAN MICE Venue Award and continue to host world-class events in the city. To cater to larger events, we expanded our business and modernized our facilities with highest standard of luxury for our guests. The city government support has been truly instrumental in our success. From simplified registration processes to generous tax incentives, they've provided businesses like ours a friendly and supportive environment that allows us all to thrive and succeed.
Positioned for sustainable growth, our city invites investors to capitalize on diverse opportunities. Puerto Princesa is proud to showcase the Santa Lucia Environmental Estate, which embodies a shift toward ecotourism and sustainable development. Guided by a comprehensive master plan, it'll blend modern living with environmental stewardship. On July 23, 2024, the TIEZA Board approved 1,072 hectares Santa Lucia Environmental Estate's application to become a tourism enterprise zone. Puerto Princesa offers strategic access to domestic and international markets via its well-positioned airport and seaport, driving Palawan's economic corridor. Through collaborative efforts with neighboring municipalities, we cultivate a cohesive ecosystem, enhancing investment prospects island-wide for sustainable economic development. Puerto Princesa has undergone remarkable transformations, creating an environment conducive to business growth and innovation. From infrastructure development to streamlined processes and tax incentives, we have laid the foundation for success.
We established Escape Boutique Hotel, which includes accommodations, a restaurant, and a function hall for agriculture-related trainings and tourists. Being a member of the Puerto Princesa Chamber of Commerce and Industry also helped us expand our network, connect with local business people, and find more opportunities. We are very grateful for the ongoing support from various offices and institutions in Puerto Princesa that have contributed to the growth of our business.
Well, we are so incredibly lucky here in Puerto Princesa because the government are fully supported, gave us and helped us out to do the tax incentive. It really helped. The big businesses here, they are very supportive of us. They made it so easier and smooth. So we are very lucky that the government here in the city helped us out thoroughly with this.
Investing in Puerto Princesa means more than business. It's about joining a warm community and embracing a vibrant culture. Here, every investment is a heartfelt journey of experiencing and living life to the fullest. Your investment, our commitment.
Urbanization is one of the defining global trends of the 21st century. As the Philippines urbanizes at a rapid pace, cities face unparalleled opportunities and challenges. With tremendous growth comes the responsibility to create a better, more sustainable future for all. It's a vision where cities, as urban centers, provide economic opportunities, access to quality education and healthcare, and a flourishing business ecosystem that goes hand in hand with improved quality of life. Sustainable, inclusive, and resilient urban-led growth is not just a buzzword, it's a lifeline. It is within this dynamic landscape that the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, designed the Urban Connect activity. A 5-year, 624 million peso project, Urban Connect will engage USAID's Cities Development Initiative, or CDI partner cities, Batangas, Legazpi, and Puerto Princesa in Luzon, Iloilo, Tacloban, and Tagbilaran in Visayas, and Cagayan de Oro, General Santos, and Zamboanga in Mindanao to attain high-impact, inclusive, and resilient economic growth. Working with national and local governments, the project will also bolster climate resilience and disaster preparedness while advancing greater gender equality and social inclusion in the 9 cities and surrounding localities. The goal is crystal clear: foster sustainable, inclusive, and resilient economic growth by enhancing local economic development and improving public service delivery. To enhance local economic development, Urban Connect will assist CDI cities to become catalysts of economic growth through an improved enabling business environment that generates more private investments, supports small and medium enterprises to thrive and expand, and strengthens linkages between cities and surrounding areas through better connectivity and coordination. To improve public service delivery, Urban Connect will help CDI cities enhance revenue streams, maximize e-government solutions, optimize delivery of basic services like health and education, and align with the digital governance landscape to ensure services are agile, businesses are supported, and citizens are connected in a digital world. These will further deepen the meaning of autonomy and enhance accountability among sub-national governments, as provided for in the Local Government Code enacted 3 decades ago. Building on milestones and lessons learned from current and past USAID initiatives, Urban Connect forms an integral component of a whole-of-mission approach to foster comprehensive and sustainable urban development. Urban Connect envisions a future where cities become not only centers of rapid economic growth, but also vibrant hubs of inclusivity, sustainability, and innovation, where every Filipino can enjoy a higher quality of life with access to better opportunities and services.
Welcome to today's momentous event, Empowering Cities for a Sustainable and Resilient Future, USAID Urban Connect Project launch.
Let me therefore welcome you to today's significant event, USAID's Urban Connect Project.
But what is important is USAID is focusing in strengthening economic growth, democratic governance, health education, and environmental resilience.
Together, we will not only connect urban centers, but also connect hearts, minds, and aspirations.
We at the Anti-RETIP Authority and our partners at DILG, DTI, DICT, and other government agencies are fully committed in making Urban Connect project a success.
One business takes on many challenges. But when they're beyond what one can solve, it'll take more. Each one pitching in to form seamlessly linked solutions. And with a partner to innovate and collaborate, we can create better experiences than we ever could alone, to become more valued than we'd ever be on our own. Because there's nothing greater than working as one to make an impact in people's lives. Redefine our greatness. Globe Business.
Welcome to Puerto Princesa City, Palawan's bustling gateway where natural beauty meets business opportunities linking commerce and trade across the island. In Puerto Princesa, tourism meets investment potential, home to the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and vast land. It's a hotspot for both travelers and investors seeking lucrative opportunities in a dynamic commercial environment. Puerto Princesa is a prime destination for investors with key sectors including tourism, renewable energy, agriculture, fishery, and information and communications technology.
What I really appreciate is the open ears. That means the government is approachable. I think it's in a both work an open way to work together. Well, we have one opportunity or one purpose to bring more tourists to Palawan and bring more tourists to Sabang and to Puerto Princesa.
We opened our Princesa Garden Island Resort and Spa as a luxury resort and events venue in Puerto Princesa. We take pride in being the recipient of the prestigious ASEAN MICE Venue Award and continue to host world-class events in the city. To cater to larger events, we expanded our business and modernized our facilities with highest standard of luxury for our guests. The city government support has been truly instrumental in our success. From simplified registration processes to generous tax incentives, they've provided businesses like ours a friendly and supportive environment that allows us all to thrive and succeed.
Positioned for sustainable growth, our city invites investors to capitalize on diverse opportunities. Puerto Princesa is proud to showcase the Santa Lucia Environmental Estate, which embodies a shift toward ecotourism and sustainable development. Guided by a comprehensive master plan, it'll blend modern living with environmental stewardship. On July 23, 2024, the TIEZA Board approved 1,072 hectares Santa Lucia Environmental Estates application to become a tourism enterprise zone. Puerto Princesa offers strategic access to domestic and international markets via its well-positioned airport and seaport, driving Palawan's economic corridor. Through collaborative efforts with neighboring municipalities, we cultivate a cohesive ecosystem, enhancing investment prospects island-wide for sustainable economic development. Puerto Princesa has undergone remarkable transformations, creating an environment conducive to business growth and innovation. From infrastructure development to streamlined processes and tax incentives, we have laid the foundation for success.
We established Escape Boutique Hotel, which includes accommodations, a restaurant, and a function hall for agriculture-related trainings and tourists. Being a member of the Puerto Princesa Chamber of Commerce and Industry also helped us expand our network, connect with local business people, and find more opportunities. We are very grateful for the ongoing support from various offices and institutions in Puerto Princesa that have contributed to the growth of our business.
Well, we are so incredibly lucky here in Puerto Princesa because the government are fully supported, gave us and help us out to do the tax incentive. It really helped. The big businesses here, they are very supportive of us. They made it so easier and smooth. So we are very lucky that the government here in the city helped us out thoroughly with this.
Investing in Puerto Princesa means more than business. It's about joining a warm community and embracing a vibrant culture. Here, every investment is a heartfelt journey of experiencing and living life to the fullest. Your investment, our commitment.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before we begin the Livable Cities Lab, may I call on Joanne from Princesa Garden Island Hotel to provide a safety briefing.
Great afternoon, everyone. I am John May de la Torre. a representative of Princesa Garden Island Resort and Spa. I'm here to provide you our safety briefing. For our house rules, all guest rooms are strictly non-smoking. They are designated smoking area inside the resorts. Guest is responsible for any loss and damages to the guest rooms, facilities, and other features and amenities before checkout. Standard check-in time is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and checkout time is 12 noon. A maximum of 2 room keys are issued to the guest and must be surrendered upon checkout, and any loss or damages is subject to penalty fee of 500 per key. Illegal possession of firearms and explosive materials are strictly prohibited. Please always close the sliding doors to avoid insects and mosquitoes inside the rooms. Next, please. The resort management takes all possible precautions to ensure the safety and well-being of guests while at the hotel premises. We have emergency response team as well as the police and procedures to ensure proper handling of emergency situations such as fire, earthquake, medical emergencies, and others. Our response team is composed of well-trained employees who have undergone extensive training on firefighting and rescue. We also have emergency medical team that composed of trained personnel for medical concerns. On Inside Clinic is located near our Arena Hall, so it is below our Harry Hall for now. Next, please. This is an example, or this is one of our evacuation site number. It is near our Sala Lounge area. The next slide is at the parking lot. That is our number 2 site for the evacuation. This is our sample of fire exit map, which is inside our room. You can clearly see it at the back of the door. Others examples of our fire exits. Next, please. As precautions, do not use our elevator during emergencies. Next, please. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you, Joanne. So Joanne was kind enough to give you a briefing in case you are also booked here at Princesa Garden Island Hotel. And with that, may I ask everyone to please stand up for the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mo bangaw, ay hinagang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang lang matawag mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitigil. Luman ang araw ng warhabing pagsingka, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pagkay mga akin, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Kindly take your seats. And as we begin today's Livable Cities Lab, I'd like to direct you on screen for some few reminders. So for your information, we are live here at Princesa Garden Hotel, but also broadcast on Zoom and on Facebook. And with that, again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. And to officially kick off today's event, may I invite on stage Mr. Guillermo M. Luz, Chairman of the Livable Cities Philippines, and chairman of the Rizalino S. Navarro Policy Center for Competitiveness at the Asian Institute of Management. Bill also sits as Chief Resilience Officer and Advisor of the Philippine Disaster Resilience Foundation, or PDRF, the country's first major private sector coordinator for disaster risk reduction and management. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Luz.
Thank you, Patrick. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Urban Connect and the Livable Cities Local Lab. We're broadcasting live from Princesa Garden Island Resort here in beautiful Puerto Princesa and in Palawan. So I'd like to welcome not only all our audience on site, but like to welcome our audience on Zoom and on Facebook live. So thank you for joining us here. This is our fourth Urban Connect and Local Lab stop out of 9 cities. And our partnership with USAID Philippines is a crucial step toward creating competitive, livable, and future-ready cities like Puerto Princesa. So I'm grateful to USAID for its support in running this particular program. And we're at about the halfway mark through our 9-city schedule. And we've been through Zamboanga, Tagbilaran, Cagayan de Oro, and now here in Puerto Princesa. As the world changes rapidly, our cities need to keep up with new technologies, environmental challenges, and the shifting social and economic needs. Our goal is to equip Puerto Princesa and cities across the Philippines with the tools to build vibrant, inclusive communities. And achieving this vision requires collaboration from the government, the private sector, and all citizens, and of course, civil society organizations. A future-ready city puts people first, using database planning, sustainable practices, digital transformation, and citizen-focused governance. Cities like Puerto Princesa drive growth and strengthen our nation, creating places where businesses thrive, people enjoy a high quality of life, and communities are prepared for future challenges. I've always said that we cannot build up the global competitiveness of the country unless we build up the local competitiveness of our communities. The competitiveness of LGUs are the building blocks of the global competitiveness of the country. So we urge people, let's keep working together, building cities that meet today's needs and prepare us for tomorrow's. Thank you for your commitment to resilient, competitive, and livable cities. Now, today we're going to have a distinguished panel of speakers join us. And the format for today is that we're going to ask each of them to come up, give a brief presentation. I'll ask you to remember and note down the questions you may want to ask and save it for the panel discussion that we will have when I will invite all speakers to come up here on stage for the question and answer period. However, if you are on Zoom or Facebook, please feel free to ask your questions right away on Zoom using our chat box and on Facebook using the comments section. Our staff will pick up the questions and we'll have some of them ready depending on how many there are. We'll try to be able to ask some of the questions when we get to the question and answer portion of this afternoon's program. So let me just quickly run down the list of speakers we have, and then I will introduce them in a little more detail when their turn comes up. But just to let you know, we're going to kick off uh, remarks with Mr. Arnel Pedrosa, City Administrator of Puerto Princesa City, representing Mayor Lucilo Byron. Mr. Eric Floreman Reed, Deputy Director, Office of Economic Development and Governance at USAID. And then we will have Mr. Eric John Yayan, President of the Puerto Princesa Chamber of Commerce and Industry, followed by Ms. Lorraine Banzuelo, Coordinator for the Local Economic Development and Investment Promotions Office of Puerto Princesa. And then Ms. Janice Rocpan, Head of Government Sector for Globe Telecom. Attorney Crisette Agustin, or Seth Agustin, the Head of the Regulatory and Sustainability Compliance Department for Coca-Cola Philippines. And our last speaker, who will join us via Zoom at the end, is going to be Mr. Quintin Pastrana, President of Winergy Power Pilipinas, who will be joining us via Zoom. So that's going to be the program for this afternoon. And I encourage people to take advantage of the presence of our speakers and ask as many questions as you'd like, because this is for the benefit really of Puerto Princesa. But of course, we always like to also learn from your line of questioning and your comments as we listen to you. So let me start with our first speaker. As I mentioned, Mr. Arnel Pedrosa, City Administrator of Puerto Princesa, representing Mayor Lucilo Byron, who will deliver today's welcome message. Those of you, of course, from Puerto Princesa know that Mr. Pedrosa is an accomplished legal and administrative professional with a long-standing commitment to public service in Puerto Princesa, where he has served as city administrator since 2018. And he's had a lot of experience moving around different offices aside from the city administrator. He's been the city legal officer. He was the branch clerk of court for Regional Trial Court number 49. And he held various positions in the municipal trial court in Palawan. So let's please welcome Mr. Arnel Pedrosa. Arnel?
Matamang salamat, Sir Bill Luz. Good afternoon, everyone, gentlemen and ladies, guests, and participants to this activity this afternoon. Warmest welcome to all as we join today's sharing on building a future-ready Puerto Princesa City. Puerto Princesa City's vision statement. Naku, mukhang inulit lang yung sinabi kanina, ha? Pero mayroong twist yan sa gitna yan sa a most livable city demonstrating a proper balance between development and environment with inclusive economic growth, inhabited by self-reliant, empowered, and compassionate citizenry. Master to ng mga taga City Hall, my colleagues in the city government. That is an expression of our city's needs and wants. Heart and soul, our reason for being. Puerto Princesa with the tourism slogan, where nature begins and never ends, also known as City in a Forest, and one of the cleanest and greenest cities in the Philippines, is richly blessed with natural beauty and bounties. We Puerto Princesans take proud in and are very thankful for. Puerto Princesa is the second largest city in the Philippines in terms of land area, next only to Davao City. We have guarded and retained at least 50% forest cover. Ito pa rin kaya? Doon sa bagong labas na mukhang nagbawas na ng gusto, pero tingin ko ito pa rin po. It is a carbon neutral city. 5 major and minor bays can be found here. Its surrounding seas are the richest fishing grounds in the entire Philippines. The city is capital to the safest place to live in the country. no volcanoes, seldom visited by typhoons, very low crime rate, including Puerto Princesa's strategic location, connectivity, increasing demand for goods and services. All these provide great investment opportunities. The answer to the question, why invest in Puerto Princesa? May this afternoon's detailed presentations as well as discussions contribute toward achieving a most livable Puerto Princesa, with investors and their significant investments being an integral part of local development that also contributes to Philippine competitiveness in the world stage. Maraming salamat po. Good afternoon, everyone.
Maraming salamat, Arnel. I think if we stay here any longer, we're going to be able to recite your city's vision statement. The best part about the vision statement, we like that you want to be a livable Puerto Princesa, which is really what we're all about. So thank you. Our next speaker is the Deputy Director for the Development Section of USAID Philippines. He's been in the Philippines just a few years, since 2022, mid-year 2022. But he has a lot of experience. He's served in several countries, including Haiti, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and what was the last one? Nigeria or something? Yeah, Nigeria, right. So you can see he's a career person at USAID. And as I said, he's been in the Philippines since mid-year 2022. And so it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Eric Florimon Reed, Deputy Director, USAID.
So, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat, o magandang hapon, maybe, sa inyong lahat. Okay, good. So, happy to be here today with you all. So, I have some acknowledgements. First of all, our friends from the Puerto Princesa City local government. We've heard a bit from you this morning, and we appreciate your dedication to your city. Mr. Bill Luce, Chairman of the Livable Cities Philippines, our esteemed speakers, our partners from the private sector, civil societies, academe, and participants who are joining us in person and also online. So I'm with USAID. It's a privilege to be here. To the Urban Connect local lab here in Puerto Princesa City. So we at USAID, or United States Agency for International Development, the taxpayer-funded U.S. government aid agency, is dedicated to leading global development and humanitarian efforts. We work to save lives, reduce poverty, strengthen democratic governance, and equip partner countries with tools to become more resilient, become better trading partners, stronger allies, less poor, wealthier. It's a great organization in terms of the potential impact, and so we appreciate. I appreciate working for USAID, and to be here with you today. So Puerto Princesa, as a first-class city of the beautiful Palawan Island, captivates not only with its natural beauty, but also as a commendable model of sustainable urban development. According to a 2024 report from the Puerto Princesa local government, the city has made impressive strides in its economic growth. Businesses have reported a remarkable gross income of 50 billion pesos, or about $860 million US, surpassing last year's performance by nearly 22%. This puts the city on track to potentially surpass annual gross income records if growth continues throughout the rest of the year. Okay, another 6 weeks. So we are, for more than a decade, USAID has collaborated with the Puerto Princesa City through the CDI, or the Cities Development Initiative, which is working to transform secondary cities into thriving centers of regional competitiveness and inclusive growth. Our partnership encompasses sustainable economic growth, local governance, environmental resilience, education, and waste management. In 2023, we initiated the Urban Connect project, providing tailored, sustainable, and future-ready technical assistance to enhance the capacity of local city governments to enhance further economic development and to provide better public services. In the past year, Urban Connect has started providing technical assistance to complement the city's investment promotion efforts. We facilitated a workshop to update the city's tourism code, optimizing fees and expanding the workforce to align with current industry needs and standards. Urban Connect also helped to address challenges in the electronic business one-stop shop to streamline processes, resulting in improved compliance from the various barangays. We have also supported the development of plans for revenue enhancement and service improvements, and partnered with DICT to promote secure digital signatures, enhancing official documentation processes. Overall, these efforts are designed to help position Puerto Princesa for sustainable growth and responsive governance. Another key component of this project is the LocalLab, as Bill just mentioned. It brings us together today as a unique platform for local leaders, industry experts, and the private sector to brainstorm innovative strategies for urban development in Puerto Princesa. The LocalLab is the fourth in a series, and I'd like to express my gratitude to Livable Cities Philippines for being our invaluable partner in this initiative. As we gather today, we emphasize the vital role of investments in driving Puerto Princesa's growth. Puerto Princesa's ordinances that offer tax holidays for new businesses in tourism and for investments in priority sectors are strategic initiatives designed to attract both domestic and foreign investments. These initiatives, along with the city's commitment to streamline processes and sustainable practices, enhances Puerto Princesa's appeal as a prime destination for investors, along with the very few typhoons and very few earthquakes, as has been mentioned, and the forest cover. I would like to point out that sustainable growth must remain our primary focus. This means not only creating jobs and improving public services, but also minimizing our environmental footprints. We must also prioritize inclusivity. Gender equality and LGBTQIA+ inclusion are vital for a thriving society. By ensuring access to opportunities for all, we can guarantee that growth benefits everyone. I'm especially grateful to Mayor Lucidio Byron's leadership. I was able to meet him a couple of years ago when I was here, whose vision inspires us all. The resilience of the local business community is commendable, as they have persevered through numerous challenges with unwavering commitments. This afternoon's program promises invaluable insights and lively discussions. I encourage each of you to engage fully, share your ideas, and collaborate in shaping the future of this great city. Let's continue to work together to make Puerto Princesa a model for sustainable, inclusive urban development in the Philippines. Thank you, and mabuhay.
Thank you, Eric. And thanks again to USAID. It's been a great partnership that we've had going from city to city, and we look forward to completing all 9 cities. Our next speaker I was surprised to see that she has had over 20 years experience serving Puerto Princesa and Palawan because, ma'am, you look so young. I mean, 20 years, I can't believe it. But we last saw each other in March of this year when we were discussing the city municipality competitiveness index project of DTI, and she was representing region 4B. And she's been working in the investment promotion field and project analysis for Puerto Princesa for much of her career. She's currently the coordinator of the Local Economic Development and Investment Promotion Office. Let's please welcome Lorraine Banzuela.
Good afternoon to our esteemed guests from the different sectors, distinguished speakers, and valued partners. Welcome to Puerto Princesa City, where your investment meets our commitment excellence. It is an honor to be here today, and I look forward to sharing how Puerto Princesa is committed to fostering growth, innovation, investment opportunities. Puerto Princesa, heart of the best island in the world. Heart of the best island in the world. Puerto Princesa is more than just a beautiful destination. It's the economic heartbeat of Palawan and the strategic growth center within the MIMAROPA region. Its location places it at the forefront of regional development, particularly within the BIMP-Iaga corridor, which enhances our trade and economic partnerships. Also, being situated outside major earthquake belts ensures added safety for residents and investors alike. Our city is also the first and remains as carbon neutral city. What further sets Puerto Princesa apart is its advanced infrastructure. Our international airport supports global connectivity, accommodating modern jetliners, while our seaport is undergoing modernization to meet future needs. We are also proud to be the first city in MIMAROPA recognized as a digital city, where our roadmap seamlessly integrates technology and conservation to boost sustainable tourism and economic resilience. Our population is 307,079 inhabitants, 2020 PSA census. And we have 66 barangays, 31 rural and 33 urban barangays, with a total land area of 219,525.80 hectares. We have major economic activities. We have tourism, agriculture, fisheries, trade, and commerce. Economically, we are driven by the key sectors, including tourism, agriculture, fisheries, and the vital role, all of these are vital role in the community's prosperity and sustainability. In our office, the LEDIPO, mission and vision. As an investment office of the city, the vision of LEDIPO is to be a dynamic and ethical marketing arm of the city government. Our dedicated and responsive staff work tirelessly to promote Puerto Princesa's investment potential, aiming for inclusive economic and business growth in collaboration with the private sector. Our mission is clear: to attract investments by offering high-quality services in investment promotion and economic development, ensuring that Puerto Princesa remains an attractive and sustainable investment destination. Business opportunities. We have business opportunities here. Okay. The city offers diverse business opportunities across multiple sectors. Tourism and agriculture are central to our economy, with mariculture providing additional growth potential. Manufacturing opportunities include industries such as woodworks, handicrafts, and metal crafts, while food processing and the food service sector, including restaurants, continue to expand. We are also investing in renewable energy with a focus on sustainability and other unique opportunities in environmentally sensitive tourism through the 1,072-hectare Santa Lucia Environmental Estate, which was recently approved by CHESA as a tourism enterprise zone. Finally, the city is positioning itself as a growing hub for business process outsourcing or call centers, offering modern infrastructure and a skilled workforce. We have 4 city ordinances that support the investors on tax incentives. One is City Ordinance 461, known as the Puerto Princesa Investment Code of 2010, grants a 5 years tax incentives in graduated basis on business and real property tax and building. Number 2 is City Ordinance 919, known as the Tourism Mile or the Nighttime Economy. Ito pong Tourism Mile is located from provincial capital hanggang doon po sa Canigaran Beach. Sa mga taga Puerto Princesa po, alam niyo po yun. Yung dati pong area ng old airport. So that's the Tourism Mile. Another significant ordinance of Tourism Mile focuses on enhancing the city's nighttime economy. This ordinance provides a 100% tax incentives for the first 5 years, followed by a graduated tax scheme in the succeeding years of another 5 years, bali 10 years po ang kanilang tax exemption dyan. Currently, 17 businesses are actively benefiting from these incentives, which encourages the growth of the city's vibrant tourism sector at night along the stretch of road of Capitol to Canigaran Beach. Number 3, City Ordinance 1084 grants tax incentives to local business establishments employing senior citizens and persons with disability within the territorial jurisdiction of Puerto Princesa. Total active grantees po, 3 lang po ang nag-i-enjoy ngayon. Okay, and last ordinance on tax incentives is the City Ordinance 1128, the Negosyo Serbisyo Caravan sa Barangay Program. City Ordinance 1128 supports local entrepreneurs through Negosyo Serbisyo Caravan sa Barangay Program. This initiative brings business support services directly to the barangays, especially the vulnerable sectors, empowering local entrepreneurs with the resources and guidance they need to grow their businesses. We also highlight the list of beneficiaries for the 2024 program, showcasing the impact this initiative has on small businesses across the city. Yan po, mga vulnerable sectors po yan. And then, opportunities for engagement with private sectors. Puerto Princesa offers numerous opportunities for engagement with the private sector. The city benefits from strong coordination between the executive, legislative branch, and private sector groups, especially the Puerto Princesa Chamber of Commerce and Industry, ensuring a unified approach to growth. Key opportunities include the expansion of our international airport, which enhances our role as a gateway for trade and investment. And the city is also hosting more international and national events on sports tourism, attracting attention to our vibrant economy. Just this year, we hosted the World Table Tennis Competition, the BIMP IAGA Friendship Games, the Batang Pinoy coming this month, and also the World Dragon Boat Competition, and early next year, the Ironman. Investment priorities focus on sectors like tourism, agriculture, renewable energy, health, and light industries. Additionally, we are implementing our Business One-Stop Shop, or BOSS, offers convenient access points throughout the city, ensuring the business-friendly services are readily available to all. We have main boss business one-stop shop located at the ground floor of the new city hall, and then the mall boss conveniently situated within the SM City Puerto Princesa. The mini city halls, 4 mini city halls is strategically located in the northeast, northwest, southeast, and southwest area, each equipped with dedicated boss staff. This eliminates the need for business to navigate multiple government offices, saving valuable time and resources. In its pursuit of further enhancing efficiency and citizen-centric services, the City of Puerto Princesa is actively working towards full compliance with Electronic Business One-Stop Shop, or EBOS, the automation of the Business Processing and Licensing System, BPLS. Partnerships with USAID, the BOI, DTI, and other national agencies further strengthen our investment ecosystem. City government of Puerto Princesa's best practices. First, with the investment promotion. In investment promotion, we offer tax incentives on businesses, real property tax to attract more investments. And then on tourism industry, our tourism industry is diverse with offerings that go beyond ecotourism. We also focus on sports tourism, meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, or MICE, community-based sustainable tourism, or CBST, and cruise tourism. Many local government units conduct benchmarking activities in our city, learning from our success in balancing tourism growth and conservation. We also prioritize environmental protection through Strategic Environmental Act, which guides our sustainable development and conservation efforts. Additionally, the city provides strong social services. Senior citizens and persons with disabilities, regardless of financial status, mahirap man or mayaman, receive a quarterly allowance from the city government of 3,000. Also, the creation of 4 mini city halls makes government services closer to Puerto Princesa, living far from the city center. As of October 2024, we have 22,757 registered senior citizens na nakapag-avail po ng 3,000 quarterly allowance. Kasama na po ako doon as senior citizen. And 2,036 registered persons with disability granted with quarterly allowance. Thank you very much. Matamang salamat kanindong tanan.
Beautiful photograph, huh? Thank you, Lorraine, for the presentation. It's nice to see so much among the industries that you're promoting, a lot of sports tourism. That is not too common in the Philippines. Very few places sport tourism. So I think you're on to something. And of course, tourism in general is a great business. And Puerto Princesa and Palawan are the right place for it. So thank you very much. Our next speaker represents the private sector here in Puerto Princesa. He's the president of the local Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I like it because he represents a whole other industry, which I think does not get enough attention in the Philippines, which is cuisine. Okay, so local cuisine is not celebrated too much in other cities, though right now Iloilo has taken advantage of that and has been designated UNESCO, given the UNESCO designation for gastronomy. So you can see that around the world, gastronomy and cuisine are important factors for developing a livable city. So our next speaker happens to be in the restaurant business. And we've been told his restaurant, Kain na To, is a very popular restaurant celebrating local cuisine. So speaking about what it is to do business here in Puerto Princesa, let's please welcome Mr. Eric Yayan. Eric?
Thank you, Mr. Guillermo Cruz. Idol po namin to sa chamber. So, thank you very much, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Livable Cities Philippines. And thank you for USAID for inviting our local chamber to represent us in the business sector. So Puerto Princesa Chamber of Commerce was only established in 2015. But it doesn't mean that we are not existing. The businesses in Puerto Princesa is not existing for the last how many years? Puerto Princesa Chamber was organized in July of 2015 because we used to be a member of the Palawan Chamber of Commerce. So I've been a member of the chamber for the last 30 years. So I'm soon to be a senior citizen. So Puerto Princesa has 85 members, but it comprises with all micro, small, medium enterprise, and large businesses. It is a registered non-profit organization under the umbrella of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce. We collaborate and we thank the city government for the close collaboration with everything that we encounter, the challenges. We are closely given the opportunity to sit on this following agencies and even the national agency. We are a member of the City Anti-Drug Abuse Council, Puerto Princesa City Investment Board. We are also a member of the Puerto Princesa PCSD, City Peace and Order Council, Bids and Awards as an observer because we want also to participate to the procurement of the city to be transparent. We are also a member of the City Tourism Council, City Development Council, and we participate in the National Agency of the Department of Labor and Employment, the DTI, our partner as DTI's Med Council. We sit as a vice chair, and we also sit on the Palawan Technical Education and Skills Development Committee, the Regional Tripartite Interindustrial Council, MIMAROPA, and we even participate in the DILG and the UST and many more invitations that we get. So Puerto Princesa Chamber of Commerce, we advocate and lobby for localities that ease of doing business and stimulate entrepreneurship by working with local government units. We help micro businesses in those circulars and memoranda and any information. Regular dialogue with the business tax, with the other concerned agencies, with the help of the local processing office with the head of Ms. Tess Vicente Rodriguez. They are really very helpful in many of our information and education campaign. We also collaborate with the engagement or actively participate in the City Ordinance 118, which is the People's Council and Sectoral Federation. That is the reason why we are really engaged in many of the activities of Puerto Princesa. So as given said a while ago, Puerto Princesa is the top destination in MIMAROPA region of the region of the Philippines, and it's known to be the ecotourism center of the Philippines. Puerto Princesa, as you know, is the gateway of the northern tourism and the southern tourism destination. The marine waters around Puerto Princesa or around Palawan Island are considered to be the richest fishing grounds in the Philippines. The whole Palawan. Puerto Princesa is primarily an agricultural economy, with agricultural covering about 10% of the city land. With close collaboration with city agriculture and Department of Agriculture and the private sector and a non-government organization, we would like also to commend that we are working hand in hand with the city agriculture to Ma'am Melissa Makasait for the because right now we are now producing highland vegetables in Bakungan or Barangay Bakungan. So this is a first step that tourism can be engaged in food security also. So it's a good place for Puerto Princesa that we are already doing our own initiative, especially with the city government. So why Puerto Princesa? Puerto Princesa is the prime investment hub. As a top destination in MIMAROPA's region, it is a prime investment, in particular for the tourism and hospitality industries. There's a larger opportunity for businesses to engage in many businesses in Puerto Princesa. It has also attracted ventures related to real estate development. I don't know if the real estate development is included in our investment promotions. There are lots of coming in, like condo units are being built, started to being built right now here in Puerto Princesa. And Puerto Princesa, local government is continuously improving its infrastructure and business incentives to stimulate the economic development. So as you see, Ma'am Lorraine already presented how the city ordinance or how the city government respond to the investments coming in for Puerto Princesa. Just imagine, just to look at the slides, from 2022, our total number of micro enterprise is 10,651. And it increases slowly, as you can see, from 2023 to 2024. It's right now 11,150. Because of the support of the BPL, the Business Processing Local Licensing Office of the City Government of Puerto Princesa. So just to tell you that the micro enterprise is the prime mover of this city. And with a close collaboration, with a close dialogue with the department heads, ease of doing business is much easier when you do investment in Puerto Princesa. Ang kainaman po talaga, yung importante dito yung continuous dialogue. And dialogue is the most important in a business investment in one place. So just like they said, peace and order. Peace and order in Puerto Princesa has, in 2024, just to give you a short crime rate, dropped significantly 9.2% on the first half. Because of the, again, the business sector and the collaboration with the local chief PNP, the Philippine National Police, and all the law enforcement agency, this is an initiative that we always commend those in the security sector. Health infrastructure. Puerto Princesa is composed of one main health center, 18 barangay health stations, 4 hospitals, and 5 satellite clinics. The hospital in the city have 430 bed capacity, 100 for the government-owned Puerto Princesa Hospital ng Palawan, and 120 beds for the 2 privately owned facilities. The 5 satellite clinics have a 4 to 5 bed capacity, and that is located in the cluster being done by the city government. Again, why Puerto Princesa? As said a while ago, it has the largest number of graduates in MIMAROPA. It is found in Puerto Princesa with 2 state universities and colleges and 1 private university. The biggest university in Palawan is located in Puerto Princesa, which is the Palawan State University. And there are more than 35 TVIs, which is the Technical Vocational Institute, TTIs with the TESNA Technology Institute, and several farm schools accredited by the Department of Agriculture through the Agricultural Training Institute. So is it Puerto Princesa is ICT ready? Yes, I think we are included in the 25 digital cities, which is next year. And like a while ago that our presenter, we have a strong Palawan ICT Association. The ICT Council of Puerto Princesa actively works in collaboration with various government agencies, design and implement activities and trainings to develop talent. And there are various innovation groups in the city, such as the Palawan Developers Group and the WPU, TBI, and the Palawan State University. So, again, what is the business strength of Puerto Princesa Chamber? The business sector in Puerto Princesa robustly represented by established, active, and dynamic business chambers recognized and affiliated with the Philippine Chamber of Commerce. These chambers serve as the voice of the business community and acting as a bridge between the private sector and the local government. They provide critical support to micro, small, and medium enterprise in starting and managing their enterprises and advocate for the legitimacy and the growth of businesses. We have some here are members of the micro who really started from like a startup. Now they are paying their business tax. Now they have mayor's permit. They started nothing. Now they have we already supported and continue to support the small, the micro businesses in Puerto Princesa. Sorry. The navigating challenges in Puerto Princesa. Again, I stated earlier the Republic Act 7611, known as the Strategic Environmental Plan for Palawan, established a comprehensive framework for sustainable development and balancing economic growth with the environmental protection. This is a very, very strong national government policy in preserving the whole province of Palawan, which includes Puerto Princesa. To address these challenges, the Puerto Princesa Chamber, the local government, especially the Puerto Princesa department heads and all the stakeholders, the Palawan Council for Sustainable Development, staff are planning to collaborate to focus on streamlining processes, providing guidance, and creating a clearer pathways for businesses to meet the environmental requirements without undue delays. This partnership helps foster the environment where sustainable development and economic activities can exist more effectively. So we would like to thank USAID Connect. And it's just saying Puerto Princesa is more than just a place. It's an opportunity to be part of thriving and forward-thinking community. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon.
Eric, thank you. Thank you very much for presenting the opportunities here in Puerto Princesa. One thing that struck me that was so impressive is the number of new registrations in 2024 really jumped to over 10,000, I believe, no? And in previous years, it's running only about 2,000 to 3,000. So I think that's proof that the city has become really a magnet for attracting new businesses, a lot of micro businesses, and of course that doing business in the city has been simplified and has been made smooth by the I guess the BPLO deserves credit here, right? So where's our BPLO? That's important to attract businesses. The BPLO in Eric Florman Reed, BPLO is the shorthand we use for Business Permits and Licensing Officer. And depending on which city you live in or which LGU, they can be really very good or they can be a major headache for you. Because when you're in a manual process in an LGU, it takes forever to renew your business permit or to apply for a business permit. Those who are automated and have gone digital, you can really see the growth of businesses in that city. And I guess Puerto Princesa is living proof of that. Our next speaker is from Globe. She heads the government sector of Globe. She's had a long career in Globe in various fields of digital transformation and innovation. Prior to Globe, she came from also a smaller telco before being taken on at Globe. And I must say, well, for those of you who don't know her, you will be pleased to know that among other things, not only does she work for Globe, but she runs marathons as a hobby. Okay, I don't know how many marathons. How many have you run? Several. And she just ran. She had to skip one of our stops for Urban Connect and Livable Cities because she's normally with us because Globe has been a longtime partner of Livable Cities. But we allowed her to skip one city in the tour because she had to go to Berlin to run the Berlin Marathon just a couple of months ago. So let's please welcome Janice Rakpan from Globe.
Thank you so much, Bill. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to everyone here and to those who are listening online. The first time I fell in love with Puerto Princesa was in 1990s. I don't want to reveal my age that much, but my school had an immersion here. And then when I knew that Iron Man was going to be in Puerto Princesa first time in 2022, so that's when I came back again. And 2023 for a vacation with family. So I just want to say that Puerto Princesa is still one of the most beautiful cities in the country. Please. At Globe, We're driven by a powerful belief that technology can be a force for good. It uplifts the lives of every Filipino, and we see that incredible potential here in Puerto Princesa. And this is why Globe wants to be at the forefront of our nation's transformative journey to digitalization, because we believe that in doing so, we are able to uplift the lives of every Filipino. This is your vision, a vision for a bigger and progressive Puerto Princesa. And Globe wants to be your partner as you pursue these initiatives that will not only boost economic activity, but also preserve the natural beauty that makes Puerto Princesa so unique. Next slide, please. And our commitment to Puerto Princesa goes beyond words. We're not just talking about the future, we're actively building it today. Globe has been deeply invested in Puerto Princesa's digital infrastructure. We have been working hard, upgrading and expanding our network to bring wider, more reliable coverage to businesses and communities alike, because we believe that everyone deserves to be connected to reap the benefits of the digital age. Right now, we have multiple cell sites across Puerto Princesa, bringing the power of the internet to your fingertips. And we're not stopping there. In 2025, we plan to build several additional sites, further expanding our reach and ensuring that even more people can join the digital revolution. We are also redesigning all our sites with resilience in mind. We're reinforcing our infrastructure to ensure quick recovery during emergencies, because communication is critical when it matters most. Our network is built on a foundation of reliability with backup systems in place to maintain connectivity even in the face of adversity. In 2025, we will continue to build new sites, again, stronger and more resilient than ever, solidifying our unwavering commitment to this city and its people. Beyond connectivity, Globe is also a technology enabler, and we offer a wide range of solutions that can truly transform how this city operates. We work with cities like Puerto Princesa to help seamlessly integrate services to our platforms, to help ensure that e-governance is a reality. We offer smart city applications that can revolutionize everything from traffic management to disaster response. These tools can empower Puerto Princesa to become more responsive, more resilient, and better equipped to face the risks and disasters. We're not just building a connected city, we're building an intelligent and more inclusive Puerto Princesa. Now, allow me to delve a little more deeper into one of our cloud-based platforms that I believe holds immense potential for Puerto Princesa. We call it UCaaS. It stands for Unified Communication as a Service. It is our cutting-edge call management system. It is a game changer for businesses and government agencies alike. For the city government, UCaaS can streamline communication channels, improve citizen engagement, and enhance service delivery. It is also perfectly aligned with the needs of the IT BPM sector that Puerto Princesa is so keen to develop. This platform provides businesses with the tools that they need to deliver exceptional customer service, manage their operations effectively, and drive growth. It's a solution that can help attract new players to the sector, create new jobs, and boost the local economy. So later, to learn more about UCaaS and how it can benefit your organization or department, I'll be sharing a QR code at the end of my presentation, so you can simply scan it and learn more about it. Now let's circle back to the commitment to building a truly resilient network. I know that Puerto Princesa is not part of the earthquake belt and is seldom hit by typhoon, but it's still susceptible to the forces of nature. But we also know that communication is absolutely vital during after emergencies. That's why disaster preparedness is at the heart of everything that we do. We've invested heavily in solutions that will ensure continued communication, even in the face of adversity. You might recall the devastation caused by Typhoon Odette. In this and in its aftermath, Globe was on the ground, rapidly deploying mobile cell sites and providing free calls and charging stations in affected areas. We helped communities reconnect with loved ones, access critical information, and begin the process of recovery. But our commitment to disaster preparedness goes beyond reactive measures. We have a proactive approach, rapid response tools. We have a fleet of innovative solutions like cell sites on wheels, tower on wheels, genset on a truck, and cell site at less footprint. These tools can be rapidly deployed to affected areas, providing immediate connectivity and minimal footprint. During disaster, we also provide a geo-targeted SMS warnings and cell broadcast together with NDRRMC. For localized SMS blast, we offer solutions like M360 and LoadUp for the convenient distribution of prepaid mobile load for your field emergency personnel. Post-disaster, we're also there with public service stations for customers, nationwide employee volunteerism, community-based engagement, and collaborative disaster response. We work tirelessly to restore the infrastructure and provide essential services like free calls and charging. With the UN Sustainable Development Goal on sustainable cities and communities, Globe believes that sustainable business practices are not just good for the planet and society, but they're also essential for long-term success. And we are incredibly proud to share that our unwavering commitment to the environment, social and governance excellence has been recognized. We have received top ratings from leading agencies like MSCI and Sustainalytics, and have been included in the FTSE for Good Index for 9 consecutive years, and achieved a strong CDP disclosure score. Furthermore, our numerous awards and certifications validate our commitment to quality management, information security, environment sustainability, and occupational health and safety. So why is this important for Puerto Princesa? Because when you partner with Globe, you're not just choosing a technology provider. You're choosing a partner that aligns you with your values. You're choosing a company that is committed to building a better future, not just for business, but for the planet and for the society as a whole. And this commitment to ESG isn't a recent trend for Globe. It's woven into the fabric of our company. We have been championing sustainability for over a decade now, long before it became a buzzword. We're incredibly proud to be the only telco in the Philippines with a AA MSCI ESG rating. In fact, only 2 companies in the entire country hold this distinction: us, Globe, and Cebu Pacific. This places us among the leaders in our industry, demonstrating our dedication to managing ESG risks and opportunities effectively. So what does an AAA rating mean? It signifies that Globe is not just meeting standards, we are exceeding them. It means we're actively identifying and mitigating environmental and social risks, promoting good governance, and creating a positive impact on the communities that we serve. And finally, I want to extend an invitation a call to action to the city government and the entire community of Puerto Princesa. We invite you to join us in our Globe of Good campaign. This campaign is about harnessing the power of technology for positive change. It's about creating a better future for all through initiatives that promote digital inclusion, environmental sustainability, and social responsibility. We would like to partner with you on community projects for this Globe of Good campaign. The Globe of Good is more than just a campaign. It's a movement. It's a collective effort to build a better world through technology and collaboration. And we believe that Puerto Princesa can be a shining example of what's possible when we work together towards a common goal. And I'd like to highlight key initiatives under this campaign. And I mentioned this early this morning. Firstly, we have the Senior Digicen program. In today's increasingly digital world, it's essential that no one is left behind. This program focuses on empowering our senior citizens to embrace technology, ensuring that they can enjoy the full benefits of the government's digitalization program and stay connected with loved ones. We offer workshops, training sessions, and accessible resources to help seniors navigate the digital landscape with confidence. And I hope that we can schedule it anytime soon with Puerto Princesa. Secondly, we have the Hapag movement. This initiative tackles the pressing issue of food security by connecting communities and businesses to manage excess food and redistribute it to those in need. By reducing food waste and ensuring that surplus food reaches those who need it most, we can create a more sustainable and equitable food system for all. Lastly, we have the Digital Thumbprint Program. It aims to promote responsible digital citizenship. We provide workshops and resources to students, teachers, and parents covering topics like online safety, cyberbullying prevention, and responsible social media use. In a world where technology is increasingly intertwined with our lives, DTP equips individuals with the knowledge and skills to navigate the digital world safely and responsibly. I really hope that this campaign for Globe of Good will be in fruition in the next few months or years with the LGU. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon.
Thank you, Janice, for the presentation and for the pitch for a Globe of Good. When you spoke about the UCAS, the Unified Communication, what's it called? Service, okay, as a service. It struck me, I forgot to mention earlier, but I understand that there are now at least 2 BPOs here in Puerto Princesa, and with, I guess, over 1,000 seats operating. So I think that's a good sign. And I remember that Puerto Princesa is one of the next wave cities, I guess, as part of the ICT for communications and for IBPAP work. So Janice, thanks for the presentation. Our next speaker is the Regulatory and Sustainability Compliance Manager for Coca-Cola. And Coke has been, just became a new partner of Livable Cities. Not because we love to drink Coke, but actually because they're involved in an important project. And she's the one overseeing the project on basically plastic collection and recycling. And this is very important because those of you who've seen what flooding is like in many parts of the country, a large cause of that really is the poor disposal, particularly of plastics. And of course, the Philippines ranks quite high in terms of ocean plastic waste. So this is an important concern for all of us. Now, in my career, I've met many lawyers and I've met many engineers, but I believe she is the first I've met who is both a lawyer and an engineer, which is not a usual combination for these two professions. But we're happy to have her and Coca-Cola as a partner. Let's please welcome attorney Chrisette Seth Agustin for Coca-Cola. Seth, please take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I hope you're still awake despite it being so cold here in the room. And I believe I'm the last. No, I'm not the last. Okay, great. So, well, welcome again, and thank you for having us here this afternoon. So, as mentioned by Bill, so I'm Seth Agustin. I am working as the Regulatory and Sustainability Compliance Manager for Coca-Cola Beverages Philippines Inc. Together with the Coca-Cola Philippines, we are a system, and I'm going to discuss the sustainability initiatives of Coke here in the country. So just an introduction in case some of you are still unfamiliar with Coke. So Coke has been in the Philippines for 112 years, and we hope to stay 112 more, as we say. So we are operating 18 manufacturing plants all over the country and over 70 distribution centers. We have one actually here in Puerto Princesa. So at Coca-Cola, sustainability is at the core of our operations. Okay, let me go back. There. So we are increasing our use of clean and renewable energy. So actually right now we have over 20,000 solar panels installed in some of our plants and distribution centers. And of course, we plan to increase them as the years go by. And we know we are a beverage company, so our number one ingredient is water. So we actually have systems in place already for increased water use efficiency. And we make sure that whatever we return to the environment, they undergo the wastewater treatment facilities we have in our plants. We are also using less virgin plastic resins in our packaging. So you might notice thinning of some of our plastic packaging. This is one of our sustainability initiatives to use less plastics in our bottles. And even though you see most of our products in PET bottles, actually approximately half of our products in the market are still in returnable glass bottles. If I believe this is one of the biggest in the world that still uses bottles as packaging. So we have also done several design initiatives for our products. So we have transitioned to paper straws for our Minute Maid and NutriBoost products. We have also phased out our single-use sachets from our packaging. So if you still see 8 o'clock in the market, we have already sunsetted this product. We do not sell it. We have just stopped production because we acknowledge the non-recyclability of sachets. So if you see one in the market, can you please check the expiration date? Because as of 2023, we have already stopped production of 8 o'clock. So if you also remember, Sprite used to be in green bottles. So we have transitioned to clear bottles because of the low recyclability of colored PET bottles. Actually, if you go around junk shops, they rarely buy colored PET bottles already because they are not really recyclable. They can be upcycled, turned into new products, but in terms of recycling, colored PET bottles rank very, very low. And we have also launched in the market several of our products made from 100% recycled PET. So you can see them in the label. So the Coke Swakto, the small size Coke, Wilkins Pure 500, Coke Mismo, and Sprite 500. Coca-Cola also invested in Pet Value Philippines, which is the first bottle-to-bottle recycling plant in the country. For you to get to know more about Pet Value, I'll show a short video.
This is Pet Value Philippines, a pioneering, state-of-the-art, bottle-to-bottle recycling facility. The largest and the first of its kind ever built in the country, ushering in the future for sustainable packaging by creating a circular economy, giving a new, limitless life to post-consumer clear PET plastic bottles, the most widely recycled plastic packaging in the world. Established in General Trias, Cavite, Pet Value Philippines is an industry-leading facility, realized through the joint venture between the world's biggest beverage company and Indorama Ventures, a global leader in packaging solutions, recycling, and cutting-edge technology. This 2.28 billion multi-phased project aims to produce more sustainable packaging innovations, employing in its facilities the safest and most advanced world-class technologies to recycle clear PET plastic bottles through its 8-step process. Pet Value Philippines transforms used PET plastics into new food-grade rPET bottles with a capacity to process up to approximately 2 billion pieces of PET plastic bottles per year. Pet Value Philippines will generate more jobs for Filipinos, promote improved livelihood options in the waste value chain, and create more opportunities downstream, as well as support the circular economy in the Philippines. Closing the loop on packaging in the country, making sure that every bottle matters. The journey towards a world without waste continues here.
Okay, so maybe this should have been updated. Actually, we were told that Pet Value already recycled 1.5 billion bottles as of last month. So we're very proud of this joint venture. So our goal here is to really enable a truly circular economy. So what we make, what we sell, what our consumers use would be the same raw material for the production of new PET bottles. So as mentioned, we have launched beverages in 100% recycled PET. Those actually came from Pet Value. And Pet Value is actually open for business to other companies that would like to use our PET or recycled PET in their packaging. Unfortunately, it's just Coke that uses our PET right now because it is actually more expensive than virgin PET. So this just shows the visit of Senator Cynthia Villar, who is the main proponent of the EPR, or the Extended Producer Responsibility Law, in Pet Value, together with Governor Remulla of Cavite and Mayor Ferrer of General Trias. The cubes that you see at the background would be baled PET bottles collected for recycling. And the mega sack would be the first output of Pet Value. So Coca-Cola is proud to be one of the first companies to register under the EPR program. And we've actually submitted our compliance with the EPR law as of last year. So I've discussed earlier our design initiatives as well as our recycling. So I'll now go over our collection program here in the Philippines. So in Coke, we have Tapon to Ipon, Basta Claro, Panalo, where we aim to make sustainability infrastructure more accessible to Filipinos and educate them of the recyclability and proper disposal of PET bottles. So it's actually a play on the words tapon, which means throw or discard, and ipon, which means earn or collect. So our goal here is, again, to make it more accessible to the public. So one of our execution models is partnering with sari-sari stores, where sari-sari stores can serve as collection hubs for the public to either. We have different models for this. Some of the collection hubs can act as exchange booths or hubs where people can bring in their PET bottles in exchange for a Coke product. Some are just collection hubs, but the proceeds of the sales of the collected PET bottles actually go to the sari-sari store partners. So, basta claro panalo, if it's clear, it's a win because we collect all clear PET bottles, regardless of brand. So it's not just Coke bottles that we collect, but even competitor products, as long as it's clear. Because as mentioned, it's only clear PET bottles that are actually recyclable. So these are just samples of our executions or our deployments in the different sari-sari stores. So right now we are present in over 170 cities and municipalities and like to expand more to engage more of our customers. We have also partnered with other brands to champion sustainability. So I'm not sure if most of you have seen the collection hubs that we have in some 7-Eleven stores. And we have also deployed contour bins in some Shell Select stores where people can drop off their PET bottles. We have also partnered with government agencies. Recently, we had a partnership with the Metro Manila Development Authority where we held the Tapon to Ipon Barangay Contest. This was joined by over 20 barangays and we were able to collect over 10 metric tons of PET bottles and over 10,000 returnable glass bottles. We have also been partnering with several LGUs. So we've partnered with the province of Davao del Sur and the province of Iloilo. As you can see here, we've also partnered with the city of Naga, the municipality of San Juan, the city of Baguio, and the city of Dumaguete. So those partnerships involve us helping the LGUs ensure that the collected PET bottles in their jurisdiction end up in PET value. So we support them by either giving them baling machines to facilitate the ease of transporting the PET bottles from their municipalities or cities to PET value. This one is actually in Davao del Sur. So the partnership started when they reached out to us. They know that we have a recycling facility and they have a problem. They have a stockpile of PET bottles that they don't know where it should go. So they reached out to us. So we arranged for the hauling of these PET bottles to PET value. So this was, I think, more than a year ago. So these have been recycled, definitely. So we also have activations during major festivals all over the country. So we visit the major festivals such as the Panagbenga, Sinulog, and the Baragatan here in Palawan, which is actually one of the biggest collection that we've had for a festival. So last June, or it was June, right? The Baragatan, we were able to collect over 400 kilograms of PET bottles over the 3-day weekend. So what we do here, since this is high visibility, high foot traffic, we go to the major festivals for people to know that, again, PET is recyclable and just make sure that you properly dispose of them and that we have a facility to recycle them. So actually that ends my presentation. So I hope you learned something about our initiatives and hope we can partner with anyone who's interested. So thank you again for listening.
Thank you, Seth. This is a great program, and Livable Cities is proud to have Coke as a partner as we help them spread their gospel of war on waste across the country. So thanks, Seth, for joining us. And wherever we go in Urban Connect, we try to bring Coca-Cola with us so we can talk to the cities, talk about plastics and waste recycling. Uh, okay, so before we get to the open forum, we have one last speaker. He's going to come in via Zoom. He is the president of Winergy Pilipinas Power, or Winergy Power Pilipinas. He's also the head of international business development for Winergy Global. I've known him for many, many years. He's kind of a Renaissance man to me. He was in media. He is in many activities, but I first met him through his library renewal project, of which he is the founder of Library Renewal Project. And he's a great believer in improving literacy, improving reading, improving education. And so he has helped put together 1,000 plus libraries from donated books across the country. So he's done a lot. And on top of that, he has a day job, which is running a renewables company. And yesterday, we had the honor of visiting Sabang Renewables, just not too far away from here, and to take a look at their smart microgrid solar power plant servicing Sabang. So today he's going to talk about not his libraries, but his day job, which is all about renewables. And let me please turn over to Quintin Pastrana, President for Winergy Pilipinas. Quintin, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bill. I trust you can all see my presentation, at least the cover slide. If so, we'll begin. Before I take my library hat off, I wanted to put a shameless plug that the city government does have a beautiful Balayong Park with an education hub. We were happy to support that as well. It's one of the best looking and best libraries there is on the planet. So please, if you haven't been there, please patronize it. It's a wonderful place, and you'll see a lot of the books that we donated. Now, putting on the energy hat, I'd like to thank again the Livable Cities group and movement, USAID, Mayor Byron, and the wonderful LGU. Proud to call Puerto Princesa our home. I'm actually in Manila because I'm actually applying for permits for the new microgrids that build on the Sabang experience. But I want to share with you why we helped put up the Sabang and the microgrid that is powering that community, and what Puerto Princesa can show the world as the host of this world-class asset. First, a quick introduction of We Energy Global. We are an end-to-end concept to commissioning firm that does the front-end engineering design to the procurement and the construction and the monitoring of the social impact of all our energy projects. And these are clean, reliable, and affordable energy projects. And they're also primarily in Palawan. We do follow the 4Ds. Many of you have probably seen this already in past presentations, but just as as a mnemonic for all of us, the 4Ds is really what drives the sustainability movement. You need to decarbonize, as many of our friends from the corporate sector have shown, and that's quite self-explanatory. But the reason we want to do that in the Philippines, as a key example in Palawan, which has hundreds of islands beyond the mainland, is the fact that Southeast Asia, which is the model and locus for growth, is not a one-size-fits-all type energy proposition. You have to develop suitable, customizable, last-mile delivery solutions, which is really what Palawan can stand for as a case study. That is made possible by the third D, which is digitalization, wherein the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence can play a part in monitoring and addressing remote solutions providers in terms of helping make sure that the communities at the last mile are empowered. And because of these three Ds, local governments, and we're very happy with the LIPO, the Incentive Office of the City of Puerto Princesa, who've given us many, many incentives to bring in our investment. Other local governments and the national government itself has been learning how to welcome these kinds of investments via deregulation and trying to get the private sector in to implement these critical investments. So with that, I want to share with you that a livable city looks like this. This is kind of like a mix between Amsterdam and another European city, or like Taipei, for example, wherein as soon as you fly into the airport, like in this case, Schiphol Airport, where our parent company is based, you're going to see an entire array of offshore wind, just like the city of Lawag. You see them when you fly in. You'll see buildings that have not only solar installations like what you've seen in Coca-Cola, but we also have battery solutions where the tide is very high. There's going to be tidal infrastructure, which we're experimenting right now with another Dutch company. And then you're also going to see different kinds of carbon capture that help power the city. And not because it's a green movement, although that is self-explanatory and much required on its own. It's because in an era of political risk, which we've seen a lot of lately, and we will see a lot more, at least in the next 4 years, 5 years, is that countries and cities need to be able to provide their own. If you are a net importer of energy, like the Philippines is, you remain vulnerable to price spikes. And I know our friends in Palawan are also experiencing that right now. Not just price spikes, but energy fluctuations that disrupt the business continuity that we all crave if we were to improve our livelihood. That also mirrors the fact that we belong to a region which is the growth hub of the world. I mean, Carl Sagan talks about the pale blue dot. This is the rich blue dot, wherein half of the world's population, more than half of it, actually lives in a very archipelagic structure. Forget about India and China, which are the main engines of growth. The upside is coming from Southeast Asia, where the over 400 million folks are actually split in thousands and hundreds of thousands of islands. Philippines alone, 7,400, give or take, a few more, high tide or low tide. But if you think about it, we also have Indonesia, which is the engine of Southeast Asia that has over 14,000 islands as well. The kind of energy solutions that are needed for these two countries and the others is going to be very different from one to the other. And therefore, it takes a lot of innovation and the 4Ds to make it work. And that is where Puerto Princesa can really lead as a model. If you look at the right slide, you're going to see that the energy supply is actually just with all the massive robust growth, the energy supply is outstripping the energy demand is outstripping supply. And you look at the bottom purple line, that is the trade imbalance, and most of it is for energy imports. And that means that while we are growing fast as a region, our appetite is not being caught up by the supplies that we need. So that's why we're vulnerable to price hikes, especially also in geopolitical areas like the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea, where $5.1 trillion of trade, mostly energy goods, go through. And if there's an issue in that area with control or freedom of navigation, you're going to have issues with price stability and energy availability, which is detrimental and critical to our survival and growth as a region. The sister club of Makati Business Club, which is Philippine Chamber of Commerce, a wonderful group, has already flagged as early as 2022 that high fuel charges will increase cost of doing business. We know that very well to all our fellow entrepreneurs in Palawan, but it also mirrors what's happening in the world. And therefore, we have to do a little jujitsu and say, how do I turn the situation around where the high prices can now force us to innovate and how to save and how to create energy that is ours and ours to use. Now, the good news is for the Philippines is we've done a study in Southeast Asia, and actually the Philippines does have a very mature regulatory structure. Since 2001, over 24 years ago, we were looking at already a decentralization through the Electric Power Industry Reform Act, or EPIRA, where the government basically ceded control to the private sector. investment and innovation happened, and you see a lot of the changes that we're still feeling today. Renewable energy law, which happened 7 years after, really had the focus on renewables as a main source of energy and incentivized as such. And I know the local government, Puerto Princesa and Palawan, have already followed that with their own ordinances. And then finally, the Microgrid Systems Act, which, by the way, Puerto Princesa was the lead example in how Senator Gatchalian and the Energy Committee were able to use our example in Sabang, among others, to craft a law that would create more microgrids around the country because of the wonderful innovation that Puerto Princesa has engendered in the city with this microgrid. So Appear is quite simple. We basically unembedded or disembedded the vertical structure of energy, and now there's generation, transmission, and distribution, and checks and balances for investors to come in and grid stability to happen. And now there's a lot of investment in the sector, as you can keep seeing. The Renewable Energy Act allows a lot of things, among them the Renewable Portfolio Standard and the feed-in tariff system, that both provide an incentive and a mandate for renewable energy providers to come in with a small subsidy with the feed-in tariffs, that, as I know, is transitioning also, and the Renewable Portfolio Standards, which basically shows, if you look at this upper right side, 30+% of your local grid has to be sourced from renewable energy, embedded renewable energy by 2030. Now that's 5 years away, and as many of you know, it takes 3 to 5 years sometimes to build a power plant with all the permits. Bill likes to say it takes around 200 signatures, which is true. Whether it's a small or big power plant, you're gonna need a lot of support. So there's a lot of push now to get this critical path going, to get us on the right path, because the law says so. We have to be at a good enough share by 2030 and by 50% by the decade after. The Microgrid Service Act is here to stay. That's myself and my principal, Atom, who many of you know, with Senator Gatchalian, then the energy chair. And basically the goal here is to take islands like Palawan as front and center of the development arm of the private sector and the public sector, wherein we have at least 1.2 million Filipino households. With a population growth of just under 2%, you're still adding more people to the mix nationally. We're at 120 million now. And therefore, we can say at least 10 million people do not have access to clean, reliable, and affordable energy. And that is why this microgrid is important, because with 7,400 islands, the solutions are going to have to be very, very decentralized, very, very customized, and very, very microgrid orientated. Now, the good news is we're seeing a lot more investments. If you look at the right side, beyond the coal and the gray and the red, which is natural gas, so with Malampaya just plateauing and likely going to peter out in the next decade because it's not a renewable source, the highest investments have been in solar and wind. Hydropower is actually going to be also plateauing because there's a lot of hydrology risk. And the renewable energy law does not encourage large-scale dams, not anymore the same, the same kind of dams that we had during Marcos I administration, wherein there were some issues in terms of land displacement and agricultural trade-offs. You're now going to have to rely on more viable and more flexible resources. This slide basically shows you that it's very important to know where the opportunity is. So if you're an investor in the sector, just like we are, you're going to look at the yellow line at the bottom. The yellow line at the bottom is the compliance requirement of the renewable energy law to create the kind of minimum 30 to 35% by 2030. The green line is basically what has been committed. So if you look at the delta, or that gray-green area, that is the opportunity and that is the crisis. In Luzon, that's about 4,000 megawatts worth. In the Visayas, which also includes classifiedly, NEDA, MIMAROPA has been tossed in there. That's about 1,000 to 2,000 megawatts. And you look at the gap, agwat niya. There's a lot of potential vulnerability, but also potential opportunity to develop these new energy solutions. Mindanao is the same issue. What does it say for us? It means that there's a clarion call here for us to be innovative, to be team players, to work with strong local governments like the city of Puerto Princesa to find ways to bring in more investments that can help bridge the energy gap with these clean energy solutions. You might be asking, well, what about the Philippines? Do we have a lot of renewable energy? And it takes the Americans to do so. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory out of the US has mapped with the Department of Energy here all the solar maps. They've done the same with the wind maps, and you can see a lot of the developments happening already. Market has now come in because of these laws, and at the end of the day, we're seeing a lot of investment. What we don't see as a lot of yet, because the laws were just passed recently, like this microgrid law, is investment in Palawan, where there's a lot of solar, as we'll show you shortly, and a lot of other renewable energy sources for a growing economy like Puerto Princesa. What we're seeing right now, as I mentioned earlier, with hydro plateauing, is that solar is leading the way. The major developments there, just the bulk of it, at least 70%, is solar, followed by wind, which is offshore and onshore wind. And I know a lot of the Scandinavian countries and investors are taking a cue from what is happening in Ilocos Norte and saying if they can do it there, we can do it in other areas. Already, a lot of investors are coming in. Secretary Vince Perez, former Secretary of Energy, is developing one in Quezon, and we know there is already a similar plant that he developed in Antipolo in Rizal. So what does it mean for us? If you were to take an investment strategy, and again, the same thing that has to do with Puerto Princesa and other cities, is that you look at the yellow line, the yellow bar. The yellow bar represents uncontracted capacity. This is what Paleco, Biselco, those two cooperatives in Palawan, and other cooperatives will have to bid out in the next 5 years to be able to bridge the demand and supply, at the same time comply with the quota of 30% solar, or 30% renewables in their energy mix as mandated by law. It's the same thing also in the Visayas, and at the end of the day, this represents, if not tens, hundreds of megawatts can be developed. And Visayas will be critical because it's very archipelagic. Mindanao has the same development profile. Luckily for Mindanao, it started off with renewables because of the Mount Apo geothermal and also the Maria Cristina Agusin Pelangi hydro plants. But even those are going to plateau over time. And with all the growth that's happening in Mindanao right now, that is going to be, there's going to be a lot of pressure now to develop more renewable energy sources and not just coal as the current situation is calling for. What does it mean for all of us? You look at Palawan itself. You're on the red side, right? The red side shows that we have a decent energization rate. That's about 90% in MIMAROPA. But still, we're talking about reliability, right? So that we're not doing as badly as, let's say, for example, the next peninsula, with the next archipelago, which is BARM. BARM is only at 44% energization. And then if you look at other areas like northern Mindanao, they're doing okay. But when you go to southern Mindanao, we're now dropping off in the 10% realm. That's thousands and hundreds of thousands of Filipinos who still don't have electricity. The other note you have is Secretary Lutilla, who is a wonderful leader and a great technocrat, is showing that the National Power Corporation, which is handling a lot of the rural electrification, also has vulnerabilities because most of their power comes from diesel. And as you know, diesel is imported and responds to fuel price adjustments with oil in the world. And therefore, they're also experiencing high prices, which are not sustainable. And my understanding is the National Power Corporation is going to start bidding out solarization opportunities for all their hundreds of spugs around the country, which is a great opportunity to invest as well, learning from the Puerto Princesa experience. You see the center of the map. This is a schoolmate of mine who basically mapped what the Philippines looks like at night. So you can tell that the energy inequity is there. We can barely see Palawan. That big bright dot is Puerto Princesa. We can see where Davao is on the lower right side. We can see Metro Manila and NCR. We barely can see Tawi-Tawi and Sulu. So you can tell the vulnerabilities are there just by the picture alone. What can we do about that? Well, the good news is Puerto Princesa happens to be the showcase of the world in terms of a pioneering solution. And that we've been honored to work with the city government of Puerto Princesa and the Department of Energy to showcase what we can do. So we have lithium-ion Tesla batteries, 2.5 megawatts, that are charging up every time the sun rises. We have around 5,400 panels that are charging up every day and dispatching throughout the day. And then we have backup biodiesel generators that after midnight are actually also bridging pantawid siya for the community to have 24/7 electricity. That really means that we are a 24/7 service. We have world-class standards. The SAIDI and SAIFI, which is the duration and the frequency measurements, are up to standards of Tokyo Electric Power, who is our partner, and even Meralco. So the standards that we have in Puerto Princesa, in Sabang, are world-class, and that's something we can replicate across the country. The reason we can replicate that is because we've integrated the generation part, the distribution part, and the distribution part and the storage part. And if you look at these three, they act as one seamless unit because of the Internet of Things and proper engineering, so that now in an area, in a UNESCO heritage site, we actually have an opportunity to showcase the world that we can have 24/7 where there is no brownout. We actually schedule our brownouts only once every 3 to 4 months. We have a Facebook group to tell people that this is when we're going to do this for maintenance. And people are quite happy with the results. Now, finally, you look at the impact of putting a microgrid like this around the Philippines. We are now actually expanding, thanks to the new law, to 16 more microgrids in the Philippines through Palawan. So we have around 7 that are going to be done in Bataraza and Rizal and Quezon. And then we have the balance of that in El Nido, San Vicente, Taytay, and in Bebeletan, for example, in El Nido. Those things are actually going to be mini sabangs that shows that Palawan will be the leader in decentralized energy solutions. The last thing I wanted to mention to you is there are always trade-offs when you have energy development. The good news is, because we actually have an understanding with the Department of Agrarian Reform, is that we will keep these areas in agricultural status so that we can both do energy and agrivoltaics or plant crops in the area. The beautiful thing about this is that it really models the kind of development that doesn't have any trade-offs. And more importantly, you can actually see that the food security and the energy security can be made to work together. And we're happy to note that the city government is actually the leader in policy because the city has actually issued a certificate of merit use, which is a policy development that allows developers to keep the status of the classification of the land as agricultural for as long as the developer takes care of it and improves agriculture productivity, which we are doing now. So we're very thankful for that policy innovation because if that didn't happen, the project would have been delayed by 3 to 5 more years. It takes a village to do this. We are partnered with Tokyo Electric Power. We are working with Ivy League schools and schools in Europe to get these innovations done. We have actually, Palawan State University is our biggest source of engineers. So we're very happy with that. And we want to give back Palawan State University in Puerto Princesa. And we're very happy to share that experience with you. So with that, I want to say thank you very much. You can email me your questions and whatnot, and I'll be happy to answer your questions for the next few minutes. But I appreciate Bill for your leadership here, Mayor Byron, always for your enduring visionary commitment to sustainability, and for USAID for the sponsorship with Manila Makati Business Club. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Quintin. Thank you. It's a very inspiring presentation, and we had an equally inspiring visit to Sabang Renewables yesterday. So stay online, and let's get started with the open forum. We'll bring up the chairs, and let me invite all our speakers to come up on stage for the open forum. So Lorraine, we're gonna need you up on stage, and Eric, Yayan, Janice, Seth. Who else have I missed? I know I have Quintin, and is that everybody? Yep. Both Erics, please come up and answer questions. Okay, that's it. Quintin, I understand you've got a board meeting, so thank you for joining us. And I think if Glenn is still here, we'll throw the questions to Glenn.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn is a proud Palaweño, proudly born and bred and educated at Palawan State University. He is our future leader for all our microgrids. He'll be happy to answer any of the technical questions. And if there's anything else you need to ask, my email is there and we're happy to do it. Bill, congratulations again to our friends from Palawan and Puerto Princesa. Maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Let's welcome Glenn up here. He's the plant manager in Sabang Renewables. Let me introduce Glenn because he's the guy who took us on the tour yesterday. And interestingly enough, he started in the plant when it was still under construction. So I guess he knows everything there is to know about this plant. Glenn. Yeah. Okay, we've got everyone up here. Thank you very much. Okay, let's open up the floor to questions. And let me encourage people to take advantage of the presence of people up here to ask your questions. We've got a microphone on the floor. We'll ask you to introduce yourself and to whom you would like to ask a question from. And of course, we're taking questions in from our Zoom audience. Anybody care to start? I see a question back here. Okay, let's start back here, then up front here. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ferds Quario from DZIP Radyo Palaweño. Yung question ko siguro kay Sir Quintin, if he's still there,
Okay.
or kay from staff.
Glenn can answer.
Kay Sir Glenn. Kasi diba parang nabanggit doon that there's a law na dapat 35% ng source na pinagkukunan ng energy are from renewable. So ngayon, si Sabang is basically you have your own grid, kayo nag-generate ng power using your solar panels, tapos kayo rin yung nagdi-distribute doon sa area sa Sabang. My question is, pagdating ba ng panahon na mangailangan yung Paleco, for example, ng source ng energy na renewable, are you willing to be one of the source na mapagkukunan ng Paleco na renewable?
Sir, thank you for the question, sir. To clarify lang po, the 35% renewable energy is ERC mandate.
Yes.
So the renewable energy should come from the generation company.
Yes.
So for example, one power provider in Puerto Princesa, the power provider should generate from itself 35% and not from the other power plants.
I see.
Opo.
I see. Pero sir, kayo ba, my question is, is there a possibility na yun ba, sinusubukan nyo rin ba to become one of yung mag-generate ng solar, ng renewable energy na pwede naming mapagkunan?
Yes. Sabang Renewable kasi is wave. Yung barangay or yung aming host community is waived under Sabang Renewable. So we are not connected kay Paleco so for certain years. Upon renewal ng contract, so that's when possible na mag-share kami ng energy.
Okay, so
Going
mga
to
25 years pa,
Yes.
parang gano'n.
Yes.
After 25 years, saka pa lang natin nalaman if you will go along na pwede namin kayo mapagkunan
Yes.
ng renewable energy. Thank you.
So I think, Glenn, so for another, you're saying that the distribution company, Paleco, for instance, to be able to get the incentives, should provide 35% or source 35% of its own power from solar, but not from you, from
Yes.
either they generate it themselves or buy it
From
from
other
another solar
power
producer.
providers. Yeah, sir, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So that's clear. I saw. Wait. I saw a question here earlier. There's a lady. Yes, please. Please go ahead, and then I'll go to this gentleman. Go ahead, Lynn.
So, good afternoon po everyone. I'm Andrea Hazel Tisoro under Apuradong Kabataan ng Puerto Princesa po. So, this question is directly to Attorney Seth Agustin po. So, since Puerto Princesa City is a future-ready city, and I found Pet Value is an interesting company, especially our project, since especially it benefits and it practices environmental sustainability. Is there any possibility that Pet Value will also be established here in the Puerto Princesa City or here in Palawan po?
Okay, so I cannot say on answer that on behalf of Coke as to opening a new recycling facility. But as we've been telling other stakeholders, Pet Value is a different company from Coca-Cola. It's just a joint venture. And as mentioned earlier, it's just Coca-Cola that uses our pet. So it's very difficult for Pet Value to be a viable business because there is not really a market for our, unfortunately, there isn't still a market for our pet here in the Philippines. So maybe if the RPET market expands, or if there are other companies that prioritizes using our pet for their packaging material, then it would be a viable business, not just for Coca-Cola, but for other beverage companies to establish a similar recycling facility situated not just in Luzon. Well, I know Palawan is in Luzon, but situated in other parts of the country.
Okay. Thank you. Yep. This gentleman.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Russell Fernandez from Lionheart Farms. My question is for anyone actually, or for all of you. How do you define a future-ready Puerto Princesa city? To be more specific, how would you describe it to a Puerto Princesan? What are we expecting for a future-ready Puerto Princesa? And what are the metrics, or I think KRAs that we would wish would come to the city?
Would anyone like to answer that? Unfortunately, City Administrator Arnel is no longer here. He would have been the one maybe to answer. But let me just say that I think the question really should be framed with the city itself, the community and the residents. So I think it's not only the LGU leadership which will kind of describe what the future readiness will be, but I think it would be helpful if residents and citizens tell their leaders what their expectations are as well. No, I know we don't have enough time to discuss it here, but I think we do have to set up a system for discussion and for research directly with citizens and with residents. No, rather to tell to inform the decision making of the mayor and the leadership team at the city. But that's, I mean, that's an approach I would take. Me as a resident, I hate to tell you this, no, in front of all the city officials, but I'm not sure I entrust my city official to tell me what future readiness will be like. We kind of have to decide what we want out of our own futures as well. So I'd rather participate in a discussion than be told that this is going to make your life future ready. but that's just me. Other questions? Yeah, please go ahead.
This is for Attorney Seth Agustin. Um, During your presentation, I think I saw that your project um, to make the bottles, to recycle the bottles are not implemented here in Palawan.
If I recall correctly, we still do not have deployments here in Palawan. But actually, we've had a conversation with Attorney Arnel a few months back, linking the junk shops here in Puerto Princesa to pet value. So I would just need to follow up. But in terms of deployment, we plan to expand. So hopefully we reach Puerto Princesa City as well.
Oh, regarding that, we would sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. So I'm Kenneth Berquillo. I'm the 2025 LO President of JCI Puerto Princesa Balayong. Regarding that, since I saw that it's not yet implemented here, I would like to I saw that as an opportunity for us. Maybe we could do a partnership that we could be the one to implement that project. We could make the bins in the sari-sari store so that people will not throw the bottles on the streets.
Yes, definitely. I'll reach out to you after this. So, as I always say, there's no one size fits all. So we try to adopt whatever it is already existing in the city or the LGU and try to maximize it for us to be able to collect from the area or from the LGU. I'll definitely reach out to you so we can talk
Thank you po.
and
Thank
plan.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Let me go to Giovanni first to respond also to that remark.
Karagdagan lang po, Coca-Cola ang alam ko po ay merong partnership with the local NGO, yung Eco Collect on EPR. Meron kayong partnership with them. Sila yung magko-collect for you. Na tapos ito, I don't know kung binigyan sila ng equipment para pag tinransport siya ay easier na to transport.
Yes,
But
pa.
you do have an agreement with them.
Yes po. Sorry if hindi lang din po ako aware or knowledgeable to discuss that because meron pong mga projects yung Coca-Cola even under the Coca-Cola Foundation that works with the informal sectors as well. So it's not what I presented, hindi lang din po limited what Coca-Cola is doing to the efforts I presented. So there are also other efforts that I wasn't able to mention in which Coca-Cola partners with different sectors to ensure collection and recycling. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Did I see another question? Yes, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eliza Hular. I am from the Apuradong Kabataan ng Puerto Princesa. And my question goes for Miss Janice Rakpan. My concern is for the public safety. Is there any harmful effect with the establishment of globe towers in some areas in the city? Since earlier you've mentioned that you want to expand the towers in rural areas. I'm sorry, my voice is shaking. Is there any effects to the people living near the towers?
I super thank you for that question. I am waiting for that question because it has been a long-standing issue for everyone in the neighborhood whenever there's a tower that's being put up. So the answer is no. In fact, before we can put up the tower, we have to show certificate kasi the paano ba to? The energy or the radio that it emits is very different because there are levels of radio emission, right? The tower, the ano ba to? The frequency or radio that it emits, I forgot what the term is. It doesn't affect the health. It's super super far from what affects the health. There's a certification for it. We go through a lot of certification, siguro 5 certifications for us to prove that it's not health hazardous. So to answer your question, no, it doesn't affect health, your health.
So, ma'am, the room here says about the radiation of the towers affecting the residents is false. It's not true.
It's not true.
Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, this audience is so active that I have you are outpacing the Zoom audience questions, which is rare actually. Normally the Zoom question comes faster, but you are coming. So let me go to the Zoom for a minute before I go back to the audience. Lorraine, this question is for you from Zoom. How is the LGU enhancing investment promotion systems, processes, and activities to address notable private investment gaps in the city? So how are you improving your systems all the time?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you for that question. Actually, sa ang aming what are we doing?
Yes, to improve the systems for investment promotion.
Yes, we conduct business forums, and we also conduct meetings and with other like the other business groups like the Puerto Princesa Chamber, and also with the students, the academe, and also we conduct surveys with our localities here and other businessmen.
Okay, thanks, Lorraine. Eric, speaking of the chamber, there's a question here. How does the chamber and the LGU collaborate to address business hurdles? You mentioned there's a few challenges that you face. How do you help each other?
Thank you. The good thing about the challenges in is of doing business in Puerto Princesa, the city government is very open, especially the mayor. If we have some problems with other department, we can easily have a dialogue with him. And in fairness to all the department heads of the city government, they are open anytime for scheduled dialogue. And that's the best practice that we're doing right now. All these department heads are very helpful, and they're willing to compromise all the challenges that we are encountering.
Thanks. Glenn, over to you. Yesterday, when we visited the solar power plant, we were impressed with the impact that the plant had on the community. You guys talked about your SDG goals. Maybe you can tell us what was the impact in terms of how many new businesses, what happened with the crime rate, what happened with the internet penetration rate, what things happened when you introduced 24/7 electricity in Sabang?
Thank you, Sir Bill, for the questions. As to share, Sabang before Sabang Renewable Energizes in Kabayugan, so the community doesn't have 24/7 power. So way back 2019 August when we energized the power plant, so from then the community experienced the quality power that the solar, the battery, and the generator provides. So it affects the community by the increasing passing or increasing opportunity and work opportunity for the locals, lalong-lalo na sa mga employees of the underground river, and then sa tourism, and then sa schools, passing rates ng mga high school and elementary students, and then as well as sa crime rate, it decreases. So that has been the impact of 24/7 electricity within the community.
Okay, and Glenn, you were telling us that suddenly there were appliance kiosks opening up in Sabang. Can you explain to us who are not from there what exactly happened with the appliance kiosks?
Yes, Sir Bill. So before or the community or the barangay, they are using 70% of the community or the households using coal or wood. So after introducing electricity, now they know how to use electric cookers. Now they are using rice cookers, and there are two kiosks of appliances in the wharf area. So people are lined up purchasing electrical equipments. So it's like they've nakalampas na sila sa Ice Age era.
Thank you. Let me go to Eric Florimon Reed. Eric, your experience, I mean, you've been in, many of these countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Haiti, so on and so forth. Kind of what would be your observation or your insights about what you see going on in Puerto Princesa, or in the places you've been to the Philippines, and what advice would you give to accelerate development?
It's exciting here because of as I reported in my comments, 22% increase in year over year business activity. So that's the challenge, is to do it in such a way that lifts all boats, that's inclusive. So that seems to be the challenge the city's facing, is as they try to bring new businesses online and help them to grow, and help identify ways to continue that growth in a sustainable way, which also protects the environment and is inclusive. So that's a challenge. But it seems like clearly speaking with the city government here and other places, they're taking that on. They're taking on the challenge to make their cities better every day, and that's exciting to see. And that's a unique. Well, all countries are similar in terms of the needs. Do they want to grow and want to be better? But the Philippines seems to be certainly on track. Another thing that's important is the activity of the business community in affecting how the government runs the government, and also in the civil society organizations, how they are engaged. There's some here today. So to be sure, that's something else we see in Puerto Princesa, is the CSOs are active, the business is growing fast. So, and the government is open to new ideas and to ensuring that they're tracking success.
Thank you, Eric. I see a question here on the floor again. Let's go back to 1 and 2. Okay, go ahead.
Is Lorraine. Because I heard from your report that you declared an area in Santa Lucia, Tiesa. So when you say Tiesa, that's tourism development. And I'm just concerned because I come from the tourism sector. We still have a problem filling up our rooms. So I do hope that your development in Tiesa will be really very well planned, because as of now, even just the existing tourism establishments are still having problems with filling up the rooms. So that's one. No? And then I have a second one. My establishment, Puerto Pension Inn, is located right near the pier. And I see all these container vans coming in and out, and I occasionally get to talk to the people there in charge of the vans and all that. For every, let's say, 10 vans coming in, there's just one van going out that is filled. So what I mean is there's an imbalance of goods coming in and goods coming out. So that's our, concern also, because our consumption is outweighing everything that we should also be producing so that we can earn the money back. Something like that. So those two questions.
Okay, thank you. Lorraine, would you like to take that on?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Actually, yung pong 1,072 hectares environmental estate sa Barangay Santa Lucia, na-declare po as TEZ, Tourism Enterprise Zone. hindi lang po naman ma'am yun it was well master plan. Nandito nga po ang consultant po na gumawa po ng plano. At hindi lang po yun ma'am mga tourism related o hindi lang po yun mga hotels ang gagawin po doon. At may po siya, may plano po, well master plan nga po siya. May mga golf courses din po doon ma'am. And then pwede niyo pong makita ma'am yung plano sa City Planning Office. Nandito po si architect na isa po siya sa gumawa po ng plano po ng 1,072 hectares na yun po ma'am. And then, yung po ma'am tungkol sa van na coming in and out doon po sa pier, at malapit nga po doon sa Puerto Pension. Actually, hindi po namin po yun, it's beyond our control. Siguro ma'am yung PPA, ang po doon, or yung may asosasyon po sila yan ma'am di ba ma'am? So I think naging problema din po yan doon sa Manalo Street, yung nasira yung kalsada doon sa po ng mga balik-balik po ng mga truck na may mga container vans. At I think na-address din po yun. Nandito po si architect po na gumawa po nung pwede po siya makapag-share a little.
Yeah, as it happens, the architect who did the master plan for Santa Lucia is with us today. So let me ask architect Nathaniel von Einsedel to respond to that.
Yung pong master plan for the Santa Lucia Environmental Estate, po yun, comprised of several districts. And one of the districts is an agricultural and food orchard area. Meron pong existing na doon ngayon, pero doon po sa master plan, dinagdagan pa namin yung area, nilakihan pa namin. Kasi po, we are anticipating that that area can also produce certain food na pwedeng ma-serve dun sa estate. And also maybe even supply the city. Na hindi na kailangan manggaling sa masyado pang malayo. It also will have its own water supply. And in fact, we were discussing also the possibility of using solar panels over the water detention pond para hindi kumain ng area yung solar panels into the other land areas. Also, we are preserving the 630-hectare mangrove forest. So kasama po yung dun sa master plan. Yung pong tourism orientation and the accreditation by TIEZA is really to provide incentives to the investors in the development para makakuha sila pareho ng BOI incentives. Pero ito, tourism related because we anticipate na pwede pong magkaroon ng mga hotels, additional hotels, and additional tourist attractions, resorts, and like for example, yung pong existing na hot springs is proposed to be developed into a health and wellness spa area. Hindi lamang po yung swimming pools, but also with cottages where people can stay overnight, and maybe yung pong high-end cottages na may sariling hot water pond for every cottage. Yung pong mga ganong ideas have been proposed in the master plan.
Thank you. Thank you to Architect Nikki. Yes, please. Next question.
Darlene from Marriott International po. So we've seen from the Chamber of Commerce report earlier that the businesses are coming and the development, and it's a good sign. But yeah, there are services na hindi nakakasabay. So I'm particularly seeing some challenges in electricity, in water services, in digitalization. So for Miss Lorraine and from Globe, what is the current achievement rate of the city's digitalization efforts or other efforts pertaining to services as a future-ready and forward-thinking urban center?
Okay, you want to take that first, Janice?
Okay.
Digitalization efforts. I was going to ask you the same question. What digital solutions do you have to complement priority industries here. So
Right.
tourism is one of them, ecotourism in particular, but also food processing and transshipment logistics. So what digital solutions do you have to address those industries?
Okay. I'll go first to the basics, right? Because I am very proud to say that Puerto Princesa is 98%, 99% um, covered by wireless globe. So what we're building next year is more for fiber. And this will enable more businesses with connectivity, with strong and reliable connectivity. So that's one, because everything, all of the solutions will not work without a reliable and good connectivity, right? So that we're building that. So I think I've mentioned earlier digital solution, UCaaS, the Unified Communications as a Service, can be used in most of the companies. Like for the food industries, you have to have your call management system in order for you to get your after sales support, etc. Right? And then another digital solution would be probably M360 for SMS push for the transportation. And also maybe if you want to track your for transportation for I don't know if it involves delivery, food, etc. So it all goes back to again connectivity, and then IoT devices. We can power that as well. And what else was your question, ma'am? The so that okay, that answers your question. But for Bill's question on food industry, I think that's what I can think of. Managed services, managed Wi-Fi for the company, for the factory. We can also do we have accounting systems integrated with connectivity, your cloud, uh, everything that has to do with ICT. So we are very ready for all the businesses that will come in Palawan.
Okay, thank you. Eric?
Yes, thank you for that questions. The business sector really rely on the policy being implemented by the local government units. What is the most important is the participation of all the businesses. That's why in Puerto Princesa Chamber, we are encouraging the BPLO to really we're proposing to them that the affiliate member of all the businesses with that are holding the mayor's permit, not the membership, but it's like an automatic membership, but choosing all those passionate business owners to participate in many activities of the national government, the local government units, and this is the most important. Embracing all the challenges or doing something kasi ilan lang po ang member ng Puerto Princesa Chamber, but we're handling all the problems of the businesses. 10,700, 10,000 problems of the micro, the Puerto Princesa Chamber participates. And that's the reason why we are encouraging every single businesses to join, to participate in many meetings that are being offered by the city for the information, education, and for the everybody so that we will have solutions to all the challenges. So I'm encouraging all the business sectors and all the groups to really unite ourselves as a business group to improve because the city itself, the city council doesn't know really what we need or what we need to say to not complicate many things. So your voice is the voice of the business. So it's not only the Puerto Princesa Chamber, it is all of you, all the citizens of Puerto Princesa needs to be heard as a voice of the business. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Well said. Okay, we got time for one more question. I saw one back here earlier, so let's go to this last question. Or maybe two more. We'll make it two quick questions. One, two. Okay.
I'll
Wow,
make
now
this-
there's more. Okay, go ahead.
I'll make this quick. Hi, I'm Von El Burgos. I am a registered nurse from Department of Health Philippines. Um, my question is, how can renewable energy be adopted more widely? And how can we facilitate renewable energy at home? And the second question is out of the box question is an incinerator possible here in the Philippines? If so, is it really safe? And the last one is, I see lately that there are big condo companies planning on putting up building here in Palawan. The question is, are we still the last ecological frontier? Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with the first question, Glenn, about
Thanks,
solar.
Ben. So about renewable energy, as mentioned earlier by Quintin, 2008 Republic Act, Renewable Energy Act, which is the 35% of supply from the power plants should be, or the power plant should be generate 35% of renewable energy. So that is that should be made 2030. So that would um, increase the renewable energy on our grid. And then for the household solar system, yes, we do have those, but more on in Central Luzon, as those kind of technology are quite expensive and more on private sectors and not on residential households.
Now, your question on incinerator, what's that for? Waste to energy, you mean? Okay, does anybody, Lorraine, has anyone ever considered waste to energy plants here in Puerto Princesa or in Palawan?
I think there was a German company, but in 2016 or 17, but it doesn't work.
Doesn't
Didn't
work.
work.
Okay. So maybe not viable for Palawan. What was the last question? Yeah.
Condo units.
Yeah, it's still the last frontier. Okay. Eric?
This is the time for business or investment in Puerto Princesa. Since the fair market value right now of our property, the commercial is around less than 18,000 or 17,000 something, the C1 or the class 1. And our agricultural land fair market value is around 300 pesos. So if our investment came through or pumapasok na po yung mga investors, it might be too late. Baka tumaas na ang gusto yung property. So I think we are inviting everybody, especially in the one in the Facebook or in the live Zoom, to really invest now. And our country is moving forward. We are already in the post-pandemic, and Puerto Princesa is the most livable place in the Philippines.
Thank you. I think when you take a look at the forest cover and the natural environment, the mangroves, things like this for Palawan in general, and even Puerto Princesa, I think you could say that you still have a lot of that quality and the attributes. Far more than most other provinces, I think, in the country. I saw a question here earlier. The lady over here. Yep, got a question?
So, hello, good afternoon po. I'm JC Ventorillo from ACA po. So, my question is directed to kay Ma'am Lorraine po. So, as a young person who is eager to learn and to contribute to the development of my hometown, so ang question ko po is, are there any programs or what programs are in place to engage young people in learning about investment opportunities and economic growth? And how do you plan to ensure that youth have access to resources and opportunities related to investment po and economic development?
Okay, thank you so much sa question mo, Bebe. Actually, isa dun sa ordinance ng city government, yung ordinance number 1128, yung negosyo serbisyo caravan sa barangay, na kung saan yung mga vulnerable sectors na binibigyan namin ng livelihood programs at hindi namin binibigyan ng capital ha, nagpapa-training kami. Pero binibigyan namin sila ng chance like yung mga kabataan na pwede namin kayong matap at ganun din pwede kayong mag-start ng inyong business kahit 1,005 lang ang inyong capital. Mabibigyan namin kayo ng tax incentive, yan yung business tax. Pag mag-start kayo, wala kayong babayarang business tax kahit sa regulatory fees ninyo. Doon sa negosyo, serbisyo, caravan sa barangay na yon na ordinance. At yung sa tourism mile, yung nighttime economy, kung kayo din, kahit ano lang ibenta nyo doon sa tourism mile, mayroon din kayong tax incentives kasi wala din capitalization doon na required. So yun ang pwede naming itulong sa inyo, sa mga kabataan na makagaya ninyo na mga gustong mag-venture sa negosyo or gustong maging part ng aming program. Thank you.
So now I know the secret why you have so many new businesses here in Puerto Princesa, especially the micro, small, and medium scale enterprise, micro enterprise rather. It's because you really go out of your way to encourage, to train, and to give incentives on the fees and the tax holidays. So that's, I guess, the secret behind getting businesses started, and it seems to be addressed at the youth. I think that's a great way to go. No, I'm afraid that's all the time. I'm sorry for that's all the time we have for questions. I want to thank you first of all for being such an active audience, both on site and on Zoom and Facebook. We really have so many questions, and I hope we can still ask the questions when we go take a break right after this. But in the meantime, I think we learned a lot from a great panel of speakers and during this Q&A session. From Glenn, we learned all about and from Quintin, we learned about the potential of solar power and renewables. And even better, we hear that from their first experience in Sabang, they're taking a look at so many more sites from north to south of Palawan. No, from SET, we could see that the recycling of PET bottles by Coca-Cola has really expanded in a great way. That they have a joint venture with PET Value, that they are now selling their product in 100% recycled materials, and that there are more and more collection points across the country to be able to collect all this plastic waste and recycle them. From Lorraine, she talked about the very proactive, aggressive moves in the local economic development and investment promotion office. We see the impact that it's having, as illustrated by Eric at the Puerto Princesa Chamber. They're a young chamber, but actually since they spun off from the Palawan Chamber, they're really not that young. They've been around a long time, and they are the voice of the business community here. But astoundingly, it's their growth rate of new businesses that you see from 2022 to 23 to 24 have really taken a jump. And I think maybe combining with the LGU, that explains why we've had this really big jump. From Janice, we've heard about Globe's plans and their coverage area and their new services. And it's not just the connectivity service, but it's really the integration of the connectivity with the ICT services for any type of business. But that really addresses some of the priority businesses such as tourism, but the new businesses such as BPO here in Puerto Princesa. And definitely, just to make it clear, there are no harmful effects from cell towers. There's a confusion, I think, between cell towers and power, electricity, high transmission towers, right? There's no harm
Yes,
from cell towers.
I just want to add, I was just said that there is a certification already from DOH that telco towers are not harmful to your health.
So yeah, that harm is urban legend. It's the high transmission towers, I think, that you've got to be more concerned about. And finally, from our Eric on the far side here, we've learned that what's important is not just growth for growth's sake, but sustainability and inclusivity of that growth. Because at the end of the day, that is what brings development to as many people as possible. So on behalf of Urban Connect, Livable Cities, our partners, the League of Cities of the Philippines, Globe, Puerto Princesa, and our private sector partners who we brought today, architect Dinky Von Einsedel, Coca-Cola, Globe, Geodata was here with us this morning in a workshop. Thank you for joining us in this Livable Cities Lab. Let me just announce, in case you're interested in listening to our other topics that are coming up in the future, because there are good ones. Next week, you can catch this on Zoom and Facebook. November 20th in the afternoon, starting at 1 p.m., so one hour earlier than normal. It's going to be on electric vehicles. And today's electric vehicles are not just passenger cars, but they're also commercial truck delivery vehicles and shuttle buses for employee transport and the beginning of kind of a mass transit. So I think it's an exciting topic. As the infrastructure gets built out, you might want to see what electric vehicles are all about. It's not just cars, but it now includes buses and trucks. And then after that, that's November 20th. And then December 3rd, Urban Connect and Livable Cities Labs, we are going to be in General Santos. And this one, you can see, we're going to go through the same type of program, but featuring General Santos. And hopefully, those of you here in Puerto Princesa can listen in and learn about what General Santos is doing. But who knows, maybe you also have advice for General Santos, but certainly you will be able to learn from them. And then finally, we're going to close out the year on December 12th. We're going to go on Tech in the City. And Tech in the City is just all about what technology is available to create intelligent cities. Things like how to track traffic, how to check air quality, all these types of different technologies that are being used in today's intelligent city, and how to make cities just work better and better for their own residents. So those are the last three programs for this year: electric vehicles, General Santos, and Tech in the City. So hopefully you can join us. If you're interested, please let our staff know so they can notify you and send you the proper Zoom link or the Facebook live stream link. So once again, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you to our Zoom audience and our Facebook audience. And we look forward to seeing you on another Urban Connect and Livable City Local Lab event. Thank you very much. And I think they're still serving merienda and still a chance to ask more questions from our speakers. Thank you.
Wasn't that great? Nice.
Everyone, can we request you to please stay for a group photo first? We'll have a group photo of the speakers, and then we'll have a crowd shot here in 2 minutes. Thank you.